And the boy took a picture of us and he put on his Instagram. And he said in the caption, like, oh, bitches be like, I won't, but I'm still in love with my ex. Alright, y'all, welcome back to my channel for another video. As you guys can see from the title, this video is gonna be about not my first breakup, but my first like real breakup, because this is like my first like real relationship. So yeah, let's get into the video. All right, so this was when I was 14. I was in the 9th grade, and I was dating this guy who we're gonna call him Polo. Let me just sum up the relationship. The relationship was, although it was only 3 months, we talked before we actually got in a relationship, so it seems longer, but the relationship was only 3 months, but it was, honestly, that was like, I don't want to say it was a fake ass relationship, but it wasn't like what people thought it was. Like, people would look at us and be like, oh, y'all so cute, and oh my god, you guys are goals. It was not none of that behind closed doors. I promise you that it was not. It wasn't all bad, I'm not gonna say that. It wasn't, but it wasn't all peaches and cream at all. But basically, why we broke up was because, number one, he didn't know how to communicate. Like, at all. Like, it's like something would bother him, and like, or somebody would tell him something, or something that he'll hear, and instead of like communicating with me or like coming to me about it, it would always be like, oh, he would like go like a whole day without talking to me, and then finally at the end of the day, he finally want to tell me what the fuck was wrong. Sometimes he wouldn't do it like constantly, but like sometimes when he would get mad, he would fucking put his hands on me, like. And I'm not, everybody who knows me, I'm not like a fighter like that. Don't get me wrong, I will fight, but like, I'm not a fighter like that. And I'm especially not about to fight somebody that I'm in a relationship with. Like, what the fuck I look like? So that was a red flag for me too. And then on top of that, it would just be like, he always like would break up with me about stupid shit. And I don't do that little, all that little on and off shit. I'm not with that. Like, I never was the type to go for stuff like that. Like, it's either we go together, or bitch, we don't. Ain't no on and off, back and forth, none of that. Because when we off, who you on with? No, I don't play them kind of games. So it's like, all them things, plus more that I really want. Was it more? It was other stuff too, but those are really like the main reasons. And it's just like, even when we would break up, when he would like break up with me about stupid shit, it would just be like, I ain't gonna lie, after a while, it just would be like, so my life would just be so peaceful, like, without him. Like, it's like, I hate to say it because it sounds so like mean, but like, it was so peaceful when we were not together. Like, it's like the relationship ended up becoming so toxic and negative that I didn't even want to be in it anymore. So finally, when I reached my breaking point, he broke up with me about something dumb, and we got back together for like 3 days. And in those little 3 days, I was just like, why am I in a relationship with him? Like, I just remember when we would be on the phone, or when we would be like face to face, I used to just be looking, or on the phone, just like in my head, just saying like, why am I doing this? Like, I am not happy with this boy. Why the fuck am I doing this? And I think he kind of like started to feel my little vibe a little bit. So one day when we was on the phone, he asked me like some shit like, are you in love with me or something? And I don't even know how we even got on that, but he asked me something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was something like that. And I dead ass was like, no, I'm not. And he was like, so if you're not in love with me, why are you with me? And I was like, honestly, I was, but honestly, I wasn't. I thought I was, but I loved him, but I just wasn't in love with him. And it's like, at a point, I was getting to be in love with him, but it would just be like the shit that he did, it would be like I just felt like I would always take one step further, and then it's like he'll do some dumb shit, and then it'll be like, push me 10 steps back. Like, it's like I just could never like, really, like, I loved him because that was the first person I ever even took serious, but it was just like, it was hard to like like he was just hard to handle. So it was like I never really fell in love with him. Like I wanted to, but I just couldn't because he was just crazy. Like he just was crazy. So I just was like, but like I just was telling him like the shit that you be doing, like I can't take that. Like I'm over it. Like when I say I was like over it, I was just done. Like I was like, I just can't do it. Like I just can't. So then like we just like, it wasn't like a bad breakup though. It wasn't like no yelling and screaming, none of that. We just like basically came to an agreement that if I'm not in love with him the way he's in love with me, then we just shouldn't be together. And we just came to an agreement and we just called it quits or whatever. So it was at first, it was just like an okay breakup. Like it wasn't like no drama or nothing. Until a few days later. So a few days after that or whatever, he came up to me because somebody supposedly told him something. I can't even remember what it was. Like I broke up with him for something. I think it was like they said something. I really don't remember. I think they were saying like I broke up with him for somebody else or some shit. I think that's just what it is. I don't fucking know, but it was something like that, something similar. I think it was something like that. But whatever it was, though, he basically came up to me and said, somebody said this, that. He was like, you a liar. And I'm like, lying about what? And then he told me what the person said. And that was another thing why I want to break up with him. It's like somebody would tell him something and get in his head, and it's like he'll believe it before you even ask me about it. You already had your mind made up that it was true. Like, you don't fucking know if it's true or not. You didn't even come and ask me. Like, what the fuck? And for all you know, the people that told you could be fucking lying. Like, so that pissed me off too. Like, even when we broke up, that shit pissed me off. Because it's like, this is another reason why. Right here. Like, what the fuck? But being the fact that we wasn't together anymore, I just didn't trip about it that much because I'm just like, I don't even give, like, I'm not even with him no more. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody tell him. I just don't want to be with him. It's not like, oh, like, I want, yeah, it was something like, oh, I broke up with him for somebody. It's not like I broke up with him for somebody. I wasn't on none of that. I just didn't, he just didn't make me happy, and I just didn't want to be with him anymore. Like, it wasn't somebody that just came along. It wasn't none of that. It's just the shit that he did made me not want to be with him. So then, like, after that, I think it was like probably like 2 weeks after, or probably like a week after, probably not even that, he started hanging around the people that I guess you could say we was friends. He started hanging around people that I was friends with. We're gonna keep the air quotes, friends with. And I ain't gonna lie, at first it wasn't like a big deal that he was hanging with these people, but it was just like, when we was together, from my understanding, from what he told me, he didn't even care for these people. So it was like, now that we broke up, like, how all of a sudden y'all just click up together. Like, where that come from? Like, I ain't get it, but whatever. So anyway, one day, the people that I was, mind you, because the people that he started to become friends with and my other group of friends, all us are from Deerfield. So we lived in Deerfield. My ex-boyfriend at this time, Polo, wasn't from Deerfield and didn't live in Deerfield. So it's like he was with them one day and they came to where me and my other friends was like hanging out or whatever. So at first, me and Polo wasn't talking. Then we ended up talking and like we was like all hugged up or whatever. So there was another like person. We was cool, but we wasn't friends. But basically he wasn't really my friend, but we was cool though. We was cool enough. We was cool or whatever. And the boy, we're gonna call him Seth, the boy that I was cool with. He took a picture of, and this is one of the boys he came with that I was cool with or friends with. And the boy took a picture of us. Seth took a picture of us and he put on his Instagram. And he said in the caption like, oh, bitches be like, I want Seth, but I'm still in love with my ex. Or some shit he said. And at first, I didn't really get what he meant. So I kind of just brushed it off like as like a little joke. Because I didn't know what it meant. But kind of find out, Seth and Polo was talking. And I didn't know. But how I found out was, I think like they like uploaded like a picture of them kissing like a few days later or like the next day, I think. And I just was like, whoa, like, and the reason I wasn't mad, but I was just like, whoa, because like I said, me and Seth wasn't like necessarily ever really friends, but we was cool though, like we was cool. And the thing was, he used to like sometimes would ask me, oh, you still go with, because Polo had a sister, and we gonna, for right now, we gonna call her, well, she's not really gonna be included in the story, but we gonna give her name though. We gonna call her Keisha. And one day Seth asked me, oh, you still go with Keisha, brother? Like, he asked me that like twice. And I'd be like, yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, I kind of would be like, why he like asked me about him? Like, come to find out, like, you really wanted my nigga, like, that's why I used to ask about him, like, that's crazy. So I'm guessing like at this point I was supposed to be jealous, but I don't know if like the way like they made it seem like I was jealous, but I really like honestly I cared, but it wasn't like, oh, like I cared enough because I didn't really break. It was an agreement of us to break up. I didn't just dump him, but it was just like it was my idea to break up, like, so why would I really be mad? I'm not mad. So but the thing was about it, even though he was talking to Seth, he still would like call and text me and shit. And the thing was, it's like I wasn't mad that they was talking, but when boys would like even just like my picture, because mind you, I didn't talk to nobody after I broke up with Polo for a while, actually. So, but when boys would like my pictures on like Instagram and shit, he'll call or text me, be like, oh, you talk to such and such, you talk to such and such. Why does it matter? Like, don't you talk to old boy Seth? Like, why are you calling me about who I don't talk to nobody, but I'm like, why are you calling me about somebody liking my pictures on Instagram? Like, what's the problem? Like, you've moved on with your life apparently, right? So what does it matter? So, and that persisted on for like a few weeks. Like, you're talking to him, you're posting pictures kissing him in the fucking mouth. Why are you worried about me and who the fuck I talk to? Like, I didn't understand it. So finally one day, like, I didn't. The thing was, even when he would call and ask me about other boys, I never brought up Seth. I never did, because I did not care. I genuinely did not care. Well, I cared a little bit, but I just didn't care enough. Like, it wasn't like a big deal to me. I didn't care about who you talking to. Like, it didn't matter. So one day he called me about, and it was about oh, you talk to such, because some boy had like my fucking picture. Oh, you talk to such and such because I slap you and him. Da, 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 da. Like, used to just carry on like that. And one day he called me when I was going to the beach, and he called me in the morning and said some shit like that. So that's when I was finally like, you need to work, because Seth used to post, because Polo was from Lauderdale, and Seth used to talk to another boy from Lauderdale, and he used to post both of them like at different times. And I didn't think it was a secret, being that he posted them on Instagram. So I just was like, I said it like as a gag. So I was like, you need to be worried about Seth and who the fuck he talked to, because Polo was from Dillard. So I was like, you need to worry about why you looking like the Dillard fool, and he got the other nigga over here looking like the Sunland fool. And what did he say? I don't remember how the conversation went after that. I just know, like, I said that, and then it was like some words was exchanged, and then that was it. So, mind you, I didn't know that Polo didn't know about the other boy. And the reason why I really didn't know, because Seth used to post him on Instagram. He used to post both of them on Instagram. So I'm like, I mean, I thought it would make sense for him to know, but I didn't know that he didn't know. So he went to, because me and Seth had a mutual friend that Polo ended up clicking up with. And I guess the boy hooked him up or whatever. And he asked the boy, oh, like, who else Seth talked to from Lauderdale or whatever, or from something, whatever he asked him. And I guess he asked who told him that, and I guess he said me. So the mutual friend that we had, we're gonna call the mutual friend Dre. I guess Dre went to Seth and said, oh, Josh said, and I guess, first of all, he twisted my words. So I don't really know exactly what he said, but I just know he twisted my words. So Seth got mad or whatever, right? And mind you, I'm on my way to the beach, and I just happened to check my phone. And Seth tagged me in this little Instagram post, and he was like, oh, Josh, make me think it's you. Going back to Polo, telling him stuff about me. Because the distance from my house, he was like, the distance from my house, I think he said you already know about me, or you already know how I go. Or, oh, he said, you know I don't mind. You know I don't mind. And when I saw it, like, literally, me and my friends laughed. Like, is this a joke? Like, it was, like, so fucking funny. Like, is this a joke? And the thing was, it wasn't even, like, funny, but it was just, like, and mind y'all, I had forgot that I had even talked to Seth. So we was just like, when do you ever come up? Like, when are you ever the topic of conversation? Like, you know when you just don't talk about somebody, so you just like mad confused, like when they say like you talking about them. I was like mad confused, and my friends was like mad confused too. Like, we don't talk about none of y'all, and if I don't even talk about you to my friends. So why would I talk about you to him? Like, it was just so like, and mind you, I had completely forgot. So I'm just like, what is he talking about? Like, I just was like, what is he talking about? Like, I did not understand. So I was like, okay, so what did I tell Polo? Like, supposedly. He never commented back. So I called Polo and I asked Polo, I said, what did you tell Seth that I said? And he was like, I didn't tell him nothing that you said. I was like, well, he just tagged me on Instagram and said that I be telling you stuff about him and I want to know what it is because I don't talk about him to you. I don't even bring him up to you, so I don't get it. So then me and Polo ended up getting into an argument or whatever. And I just hung up on him because I was going to the beach and I was living my best life that day. And then Seth called me. And Seth was like, oh, Josh, they said that you said, and I can't remember what he said. They said I said. But mind you, I thought like Polo had something to do with it because Seth was saying they. So I'm like, who is they? Like, the only thing I know is Polo. So, because you said, like, I'm telling him stuff. So I'm thinking like he said it like to you. So he was, I don't know what, like, the boy Dre flipped my words and said, but it was something like so dramatic that I did not even say. And I was like, I was on the phone. I'm like, when did I say that? Like, I never said that. I was like, I don't even talk about you. And he was like, oh, all right. And I was like, yeah. And I just hung up. That was like on the weekend or whatever. So then we had to go back to school Monday. On Monday or whatever, right? We was in the cafeteria, me and my friends. And one of my friend's cousins went outside and was talking to Polo them. So, and mind y'all, well, let me just say this. Yeah, she went outside to Polo them or whatever. So she came back inside the cafeteria or whatever, and she was like, Josh, Polo wants you. And I was like, for? Like, I don't know what he's asking for me for. And she was like, oh, I don't know. He just said he wants you. So the bell was about to ring. So the only reason why I went was because the bell was about to ring anyway. So I was like, let me just get up and like go see what he wants. So I'm getting up or whatever. And my cousin was like, you really finna go out there? And I was like, yeah, I'm just finna see what he wants. And she was like, you so fucking stupid. Why would you go out there after what he just did? Because like the way we thought like Polo like put something in Seth's head like I was talking about him or whatever. So I went outside or whatever. And I was like, you wanted me? And the boy Dre, who I was friends with, said to my friend cousin, why would you go get him when you know this boy mad at him? So I'm looking like, mad at me for what? So Polo was like, oh, you tried to check me? I'm like, check you about what? All I asked you was what you said. And then, I don't know, like, he said something, and I said something slick. And he was like, Josh, don't fucking play with me. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.